Welcome to Animal Growth Diary. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating journeys in the animal kingdom, the journey of dog pregnancy, from the very first week all the way to the magical moment of birth. Imagine this, in just about 9 weeks, yes, only 2 short months, an entire litter of puppies goes from being microscopic cells to living, breathing, adorable little dogs. That's almost unbelievable, right? But nature works its magic in the most beautiful ways. Whether you're a dog lover, a pet owner, or simply curious about how life begins, this video will give you a clear, step-by-step view of what happens during each week of a dog's pregnancy. The journey starts the moment fertilization takes place. After mating, sperm travels inside the female dog's reproductive system and meets the eggs. Once the eggs are fertilized, they begin their journey down the fallopian tubes toward the uterus. This very first week is a hidden miracle. The embryos are still microscopic, far too small for anyone to notice. In fact, on the outside, your dog will behave completely normal. She'll eat, sleep, and play as she usually does. But inside, something extraordinary has already begun. Each fertilized egg carries the blueprint of life. Half the genes from the mother, half from the father. These tiny cells divide and multiply rapidly, preparing for the next big step, implantation. For the owner, there's not much to do at this point. It's still too early to confirm pregnancy, but maintaining the dog's normal diet, exercise, and stress-free environment is important. Think of this stage as planting seeds in a garden. You can't see the plants yet, but life is already forming underground. By the second week, the fertilized eggs are ready to settle in. They attach themselves to the walls of the uterus, a process called implantation. This is like a baby setting up its very first home. Once implanted, the embryos begin forming tiny connections with the mother's blood supply, which will nourish them for the weeks to come. From the outside, there still won't be many visible changes. Some dogs may appear slightly more tired or show small mood swings because of hormonal changes, but nothing dramatic. If you're an observant owner, you might notice that your dog is a bit calmer or perhaps hungrier. It's her body adjusting to the new life inside. This is also the stage where veterinarians sometimes recommend extra care, such as avoiding heavy physical activity or stressful environments. The embryos are still fragile, and stability is key. Even though you can't see the puppies yet, imagine tiny specks of life slowly organizing themselves, preparing to grow into complete beings. The foundations of life are being set, silently, inside the womb. Now comes an exciting phase. By the third week, the embryos start to develop into recognizable shapes. Each tiny puppy is still very small, about 1 centimeter long, but already the beginnings of organs and facial features are forming. Inside the mother's womb, the spinal cords and basic nervous systems of the puppies are starting to develop. Their little hearts begin to beat faintly, pumping life into their growing bodies. For the mother, subtle signs may start to appear. Some dogs may have a reduced appetite or even mild morning sickness, just like humans. A few might seem more affectionate, seeking comfort from their owners. This is often the first stage when experienced breeders can suspect pregnancy, even though it's still too early for most medical tests to confirm. Think of it this way. At this point, the puppies are like tiny dots of hope, slowly shaping into real dogs. Every heartbeat inside the womb is a promise of life, waiting to be revealed in the weeks ahead. By the fourth week, the puppies are no longer just clusters of cells. They are now tiny embryos with more defined features. Their faces, spines, and even little tails begin to take shape. Each one is still only the size of a small marble, but they are growing quickly. At this stage, if you take the mother dog to the veterinarian, an ultrasound can confirm pregnancy. It's one of the most exciting moments for any dog owner, seeing those tiny flickering heartbeats on the screen for the first time. The mother herself might start to show more noticeable changes. Her nipples may become larger and slightly darker. You might notice a small increase in her appetite, or sometimes the opposite, a decrease because of hormonal shifts. Some dogs may experience morning sickness around this time. They might vomit lightly or show a preference for certain foods. Don't worry, this is natural, and it usually passes quickly. Week 4 is also considered the most delicate stage of pregnancy. The embryos are still vulnerable, and sudden stress, poor nutrition, or intense physical activity can harm them. That's why many experts advise keeping the mother calm, providing her with high-quality food, and ensuring she gets gentle exercise. Think of this stage as the first reveal. For weeks, the puppies have been invisible, but now they're beginning to announce their presence. Week 5 is when the real magic begins. The embryos are now officially called fetuses, and they start to resemble tiny dogs. Their limbs, eyes, and whiskers begin forming. Even their little toes can be distinguished at this stage. The puppies grow rapidly now, measuring about 2 to 3 centimeters long. They're still tiny, but their organs are developing quickly. The skeleton begins to form, and the first traces of fur appear under the skin. For the mother, physical changes become clearer. Her belly slowly starts to expand, and she might gain a little weight. If you gently place your hand on her side, you might not feel the puppies yet, but inside, they are very active. This is the stage when nutrition becomes critical. The mother needs food rich in protein and vitamins to support the fast growth of her litter. Owners often switch to high-quality puppy food during this period because it's packed with nutrients. Behaviorally, the mother may start to slow down. She may play less and rest more. Some dogs also become more affectionate, wanting to stay close to their owners. It's nature's way of ensuring she feels safe and protected as she nurtures her unborn puppies. If week 4 was about the first signs, week 5 is about speed. Life is now racing forward inside the womb. Each day, the puppies become more detailed, more complete, and closer to stepping into the world. By the 6th week, the puppies are no longer just tiny shapes. They are miniature dogs. Their size now ranges from 3 to 5 centimeters, and their bodies are covered with a thin layer of fur. Their eyelids are sealed shut, but their eyes are fully formed underneath. The skeleton continues to harden, and the puppy's movements become stronger. Though you may not see it yet, they are kicking and stretching inside the womb, testing out their little muscles. For the mother, physical changes become obvious. Her belly becomes rounder and firmer. If you gently touch her abdomen, you may even feel slight movements, though they're still faint. Her appetite usually increases significantly because the puppies are demanding more energy. It's important to feed her small, frequent meals, as her growing belly may not leave enough space for large amounts of food at once. Her nipples also become larger, and a small amount of milk-like fluid may appear, the body's way of preparing for nursing. Some mothers also begin shedding fur around their belly, making it easier for newborn puppies to find the nipples later. By week 6, the pregnancy is no longer a secret to anyone. Anyone who looks at her can tell she's expecting. And inside, her puppies are almost ready to face the world. Just a few more weeks to grow and strengthen. By the 7th week, the puppies are nearly fully formed. Their bones are hardening enough to be seen clearly on an X-ray. If you were to take the mother dog to the vet, you'd be able to count exactly how many puppies she's carrying. The puppies now measure around 7 to 10 centimeters long. They continue to grow fur, and their little bodies look almost ready to face the world. Inside the womb, they move and shift frequently, stretching their little legs and rolling around. For the mother, physical changes are unmistakable. Her belly is now large and round, and you may even be able to see puppy movements from the outside if you watch closely. Her nipples are swollen and may produce colostrum, the first nutrient-rich milk that will feed her newborns. Some mothers also begin to show strong nesting behavior. They might scratch at blankets, dig in corners, or repeatedly rearrange bedding. This is her natural instinct preparing for birth. even though it's still a few weeks away. By week 7, the pregnancy is no longer a secret. Anyone who looks at her can tell she's expecting. And inside, her puppies are almost ready to face the world. Just a few more weeks to grow and strengthen. By the 8th week, the puppies are almost ready to be born. Their organs are fully developed and they're practicing breathing movements inside the womb, even though they won't take their first real breath until after birth. The puppy size ranges from 7 to 10 centimeters long, depending on the breed. They're crowded inside the womb now, and their movements can be seen and felt more easily. Sometimes owners describe the mother's belly as dancing because of all the kicks and turns happening inside.